Drake. Welcome to Working Dragon Mystic, where we discuss real, metaphysical, and occult knowledge so that you can manifest real and tangible and practical results in your life. This week, we're going to continue our series on the goetia with the 40th spirit of the goetia, Raum. All right. Now, we always lay these out quick and easy so you don't have to worry about me over talking and getting this information to you. Though with the over talking, I will say, do remember we will if I have personal experience with them, I try to explain that out as best as I can, but to keep it moving. Um, let's see. All right, here we go. So, first off, the appearance of this particular spirit of the Goetia in the Goetia is appeareth in the form of a crow, but after command of practitioner, he takes human shape. Okay, due to this description being very similar to the previous description, there are a lot of magicians and mages who have a few different views. First off, they say that the descriptions are mixed up in some text, and if you find a correct text, it won't be mixed up. um, unless I screwed up, and I'll admit if I did, just let me know. But and as far as I know, every text I have has the same description, right? And I've always found that quite interesting. Then you got people who actually claim the 39th and the 40th spirit are two faces of the same spirit, labeled differently. I get that. And to be honest, when I've worked with these two spirits, they have similarities. They have similarities, but they feel very individual to me also. Because, like, you could say me and my brother have in similarities, but you would never say we're the same person. So, um, take that into some consideration as you work through here. Now, the associations tagged with this particular spirit of the Goetia, rank Earl, metal most associated with the spirit is copper or silver. The planet most associated is Mars. Color most associated is red. The element most associated with this spirit is air or fire. So there you go there. Um, Also, before we get into the areas that this entity can help, do remember we have a working dragon mystic community. We're putting together and building a community where we can come in, we can discuss occult information, we can get help, we can get tips, we can help one another grow in our path to self-mastery and self-empowerment. You can find the link below to the community. We just moved everything to a whole new site. We have the online school and the community now in one place. You can sign up for free, become just a standard community member, or you can sign up and become a supporter and get access to additional perks. And even some of the classes that's in the school would just be open to you because you're a supporter. If you wish to, you can also purchase the classes individual. We're still moving some of the classes over to the new location, but we'd love to have you over there taking part in the community. All right, links below. Now, let's get into this. Areas that this entity can help in. It's originally in the Goetia was listed as steals treasures from kings, destroys cities and dignities, causes love between friends and foes, tells all things past, present, and future. Pretty beefy in a lot of ways, honestly. But again, not very detailed. And some people really have trouble defining, how do you utilize that in today's world? Um, so here's some bullet points in the modern terminology that might help you out. Cause an individual you name to suffer great loss that might manifest as personal, financial, etc. Um, if you decide to make this specific in how you wish them to suffer or have bad luck or however you want to phrase it, um, the more specific it is, the results tend to be very limited and taper down. Leaving it more open is more effective. That's one thing some people don't like is this is one of those it's more effective if you're not very specific. Next is name an individual to become mistrusted or hated by colleagues and friends. You just basically destroy their social circle. That's pretty potent. It can be very isolating and it can actually undo a lot of problems for some individuals quite handily. The next one is honestly, I think one of the ones that most people this day and age utilize for the spirit for better or worse, and that is to help build romantic feelings between you and a close friend. Yeah, people's trying to fall in love again and they're trying to get spirits to do it. Now, you'll notice this says help build romantic feelings. First off, this ain't going to force someone to love you, period. You're not going to do that. Secondly, they do already have to be a close friend. This isn't someone you just met at a club. This isn't someone you met in passing and you randomly got a number. This isn't someone you said, "Hi, my name's Bob," and now you consider Bob a friend. This is a close friend. There actually has to be a genuine connection and repertoire between the two of you. Um, that also makes this very limited. And because of that, I've seen a lot of people utilize this to try and force that relationship with no results and become quite upset about that. Because they then turn and try to use it for the other things and it works quite well and they can't figure out what they did wrong. Well, you didn't have a close friend to begin with that you were trying. They just want to try and use this in that one night stand, quick hookup thing, or to um, get the person they're afraid to talk to. If you're afraid to talk to them, they're not a friend. So be mindful of that, right? All right, next we need to get the sigil up here. I'll make sure it's on the screen. Pretty straightforward sigil, as you can see. All right. And then we come to the un. The un for this entity that is used most often is, and I know I'm going to butcher this one, so I will make sure it's on the screen so you can pronounce it however you choose. But Furka na Ali Laris Rom. Furka na Ali Laris Rom. Furka na Ali Laris Rom. Pretty. I'm not going to say straightforward on that one. It is straightforward. I just don't like pronouncing them. You know me. Honestly, then we get into my experiences with this spirit. This is one I've not worked a whole hell of a lot with. I have worked somewhat. I've had instances where, yes, bad luck and hardships and stuff falling to an enemy would have been helpful. And I did actually try to employ it, and I got some pretty good results. I'm not going to lie. They weren't actually results that I would have personally chose. If I sat down and said, let's screw with this guy here and how. Um, None of the manifestations were actually what would have truly put a smile on my face. But did it manifest? Yeah, it manifested. Um, on at least I want to say there's two of the individuals out of like five that I didn't personally notice any differences. So, you know, it's not really up to my standards in a lot of things, but 3 out of 5 is not a bad ratio. I can't lie about that. And, for those tests, I'll be honest, I didn't put a lot behind it either. So that also holds pretty good if you want my opinion, because if I'd put more effort into it, I may have got a 5 out of 5. Name individual to become mistrusted, hated by colleagues and friends. This one I've used. There are plenty of people who I have met that I knew could not be not trusted, should not be trusted. They are just crooked in every single way. I've had previous experience with them. I have seen them cheat and cheat and cheat. And we both show up into a situation, whether it be a business negotiation, whether we share a group of friends, and they are purposely trying to pull the same scam that I already know. And this happens to a lot of people in real life. Trust is a fickle thing. It really is. It's a hard one. In fact, I have a video on trust I need to do because a lot of you have been asking me about trust. But that aside, um, they have those colleagues, they have those friends, they spend that time around them, and those people don't really see or know or are aware of a reason not to distrust them. And outside the words of someone who's like, hey, this person did this before, you should be careful. Most people's like, well, I ain't never saw him do that. And until they wrong me, that's just hearsay. And that's where they go. They just, wander off. And that's fine and dandy. I understand that, but at the same time, you don't want to see people get hurt. And in the cases I'm talking about, it was bad. It wasn't really what you would say the aftermath is a learning experience because it actually, yeah. Some of the shit that these people have done cost people their homes, right? So in those cases, I have actually tinkered with this one and utilized this one where I set it up so that the people, their colleagues and friends in that social circle lost that blind trust in them and would listen better and would pay attention. So when they tried to move in and pull their little scheme and their bullshit, they didn't trust them. They found out what the person was doing. They looked into it. They dotted their I's and crossed their T's, did their due diligence, and managed to out the individual for the snake oil salesman that they were. And that entire group of people, fine and dandy, everything's fine. That guy, though technically not harmed, his scam was shut down. And it was shut down in such a way that last time I checked, he'd never been able to pull it since. So I count that as a very, very good victory. And all it took was removing that veil of blind trust because no one had a reason not to trust him, right? And I was the new guy on the block. Why would they trust me? They didn't really have a good reason to trust me. I'm the newer guy, right? I could be jealous or some crap. So that one I did find to be quite useful. And honestly, I think that's maybe one of the better uses for it because if you can just get people to, see past that blind trust concept that they may have built up, um, that helps them to see it more objectively and see things and pay attention and make better decisions for themselves. If that individual has changed their straps or whatnot, removing blind trust doesn't change the relationship at all. It just makes sure that if they haven't, they're going to see it and catch it. That's all. Um, and I think we've all fallen victim to blind trust at one time or another. I know I have in my life. And it was hard, hard, hard lessons. And that's something I'll talk about in another video when we talk about trust. Um, I think that about covers this one. Nice, simple, sweet, easy, straightforward. All right. If you all enjoy this kind of content, if you enjoy learning about the goetic spirits or dragon magic or other things, give us thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on notifications so you're notified anytime we release a new video or go live on Sundays for our live stream magical coffee hour. And again, remember to join us at the Working Dragon Mystic community. Links below. Hope to see you there. Till next time, I'm Drake. Take care. Bye bye.